Hey there, guys. We are, just got the notice, we're now live. When is now? Now is now. It's not then, it's not later, it's now. So we are live now. My name is Rick Utsi here with AirgunWebTV, and we are at a new channel with new equipment talking about some new air guns. How awesome is that? First things first, we want to say thank you to all you guys that are viewing and watching and sharing. We need your help to grow this channel, grow this platform, because we want to do this at least every other week, and if it becomes popular, we're going to do it every week. And we're going to bring you very cool new airgun stuff every week. Right now we're doing half an hour. You know what? We can do an hour. We can do an hour and a half. It doesn't matter because it's my studio. How awesome is that? I don't have to do anything but show up, set the cameras up, and get in here and have some fun talking to you guys about the stuff I got going on here at Airgun Web. So let me back up. Before we get started on talking about what we got on the table, because we've got like the generation of swarm here. We should have named the video, Sue, the generation of swarm, but we didn't. That's okay. Before we get started though, I want to talk about Airgun Expo. Now, I had Travis out here last week. He came out here at his own expense, and we set everything up and we tested what it would be like for range day, what it would be for like a virtual live range day, and we tested like the studio stuff, which we do the studio stuff pretty regularly, but the range day was something we never tried, and that was so much fun. And we had a lot of people commenting and asking questions and watching and hanging out with us as we tried out new air guns, and that I thought was very, very cool. Now, what that allowed us to do is really just test the gear, test some stuff about how it may work, and then now we're going to be reaching back out to those companies and potential sponsors that may want to be part of Airgun Expo as we are looking to bring that forward. And we're very close to setting actual dates. We're going to push it out a little bit because what we found is a lot of manufacturers haven't gotten in their cool new stuff yet. So why have a big expo when people don't have stuff to show? So rather than show prototypes or stuff that sort of half works, we want to show real stuff that after you're done watching it, you can go buy it. I mean, that's the goal. And for media, we want to get you guys kind of plugged into the cool new stuff that's going to be right on the shelves so that you guys can talk about it and do what you guys do. So dealers, if you want to be a dealer for these products we're going to be showing, you can reach out to the manufacturers and set up dealer agreements too. So very excited about that. Do we have a question?
We do.
What's the question?
Can you kill a deer with the 22 Fusion?
No. Well, can it physically be done? Probably. Would I recommend it? No. We can get into that if you like, but I wouldn't recommend using any let me ask a quick, which fusion? The Gamo fusion or some other fusion? Let me ask that question. But unless it's in a 22 pellet gun, no. Unless you're pushing 100 foot-pounds, and there are some 22s that'll do it, no. And even then, I wouldn't. You figure most states, well, I don't know how they do it these days, but I know some states you have to have a minimum caliber to hunt deer. So if you've got a minimum firearm caliber of 308 or whatever, or 223 or some sort of thing, and you're not allowed to use it with a 22 long rifle, then I certainly wouldn't use an air gun, a 22 cal air gun to take deer. Yes?
Gamo Fusion.
Gamo Fusion, yes. I would not do that. No, we can get to that. I actually have one right here. Well, this is a Fusion. This is the Swarm Fusion 10X. So this one is an important sort of stepping stone and what we got here on the table. So we're going to get talk to that here in a minute. Yes, Sue.
What is the website for Airgun Expo?
Airgun Expo is very simple. It's theairgunexpo.com. So you can go check things out. And we're going to be posting, if you missed the live shows, we're going to be posting all of that footage, all of those examples we're going to be posting up there as soon as we get them edited and digested and all that fun stuff. We'll probably in the next couple of weeks, we're going to have examples. So if you're a viewer and you want to see, oh, that looks cool, or you're a manufacturer and says, oh, I want to get my gun there or my product there, either way, we're going to be able to have that up running pretty shortly. Yes, Sue?
What scope do you recommend for the Swarm Magnum 20 to bring the stock scope? The stock scope is definitely lacking. I'm using mine for squirrel hunting. Okay, so look, we want to jump right into that. Okay, that's fine. Let's jump into some questions.
This here is actually the Gamo SWARM 10X Gen 2. And here is my Gamo SWARM 22, just the regular SWARM, and we'll talk about the differences here in a minute. On this gun, I have just a BSA rifle scope. That seems to have held up okay. I personally, granted, the bundled optic is not it doesn't have a mil dot, it doesn't have an adjustable objective, but I'm shooting just fine with the standard optic, and it's held up great. Now, if you want to do something different, here's my criteria. If you're going to put, I'm going to switch over to camera 2 for a second, Sue. If you want to do something different for your scope on any Magnum, Ultra Magnum break barrel, definitely find a quality scope. If you buy something cheap on Amazon or these other things, you're probably just going to snap it. And really the key there is, what is the reticle material? If it's an etched glass reticle, it'll have a better chance of survival than a wire reticle. And I really personally like Hawk products. Yes, they're a sponsor, but I sought them out, okay, because I really liked their gear. Just a second. So the Hawk Vantage IR platform, anything that Hawk does that's illuminated has an etched glass reticle, and they seem to hold up very well on like any sort of Magnum Springer. So that's what I would do. My personal preference. Back to camera 1. Yes, Sue.
What is the biggest small game you can take with a Magnum Gen 2 22 cal, and what size pellet?
If I was going to use the 22, I would probably shoot. The Hades shoot really well, so that's that. Let's say you want to take an armadillo. That's a pretty rugged animal, and you can do that. I think you're close to 30 foot-pounds, which is no slouch. So you're looking at gopher, woodchuck, raccoon, possum, armadillo. If you have something that's hard-skinned, that's thick and tough, then I would go like the H&N Hornets are like really good at busting through a shell or busting through something and then getting in there and doing some damage. The Hades, if it's a softer skinned animal, the Hades are a softer metal. They don't have the sharp point. Metal mags, I think JSB makes the metal mags, if I have my pellets right. So there's lots of options. I would go with, make sure it feeds properly the magazine. Obviously that's important. But some of those would be good options. And also just the regular old 18.13 grain JSBs are also very good. And the Barracuda Hunter Extreme is also very good. The Barracuda's H&N is going to have a little harder alloy, so their leads will be a little harder. So if you're taking game that you got to get some more penetration in, then I would maybe look at H&N, make sure it's accurate at whatever range you're hunting, find the best pellet for that range. And if it's a little softer game, JSB works really well. And we're going to get to sort of some interesting accuracy that I found today. This is actually the 177, and I've written an article for this. You guys, if you want to check the article out, it's going to be over on Airgun Depot. I guess they'll release it this coming month, sometime in February or March. I don't know when it'll come out, but I wrote a definitive guide on this, which I was very impressed with this gun. I just shot a video of this today for Pyramid Air, and I'm going to talk a little bit about what I found, because the last couple days were just like really good airgun days, and they were centered around this gun, and it just put a smile on my face. It was pretty fun. Any questions?
Nope, that's it.
Okay, so back to a couple of housekeeping things. So we have Airgun Expo. Please, if you guys are interested in finding out more, the Airgun Expo, and I really hope you guys will, one, watch if you're a viewer, watch, and if you're a manufacturer, somebody interested in getting your products sort of out there, definitely take a look, reach out, and we'll get you hooked up with we'll customize something that's affordable, and you guys can do it. It'd be very awesome. Yes, Sue?
The Airgun Expo that you guys are going to be doing,
yes,
you're going to be having range days where you'll show stuff live, and people can ask questions and they can be answered live, correct?
Absolutely. I mean, you'll be, hopefully, God willing, you'll be running the board, and we'll have, Travis will be here. Hopefully we're going to have Airgun Angie out here. I'm trying to get Joe from JSB. I'm hoping to get John from Hawk. I'm trying to get some folks. There's some other internet personalities, Airgun personalities we're also in communications with. We're trying to maybe firm those guys up. We can't have too many people, because then we sort of obliterate the whole social distancing concept, is what we're trying to preserve. But we're wide open here. We got plenty of room and space where people can be safe, and we can have a lot of fun. You guys can get a different perspective than just mine old tired opinion once in a while. So Airgun Expo is important. The next thing I want to talk about is Gateway to Airguns. That's who's really putting on the Airgun Expo. I'm working with them on the technical side and, you know, providing the facility and all that kind of fun stuff. But Gateway to Airguns is a great airgun forum, and I've dabbled in the forums here and there, and sometimes you can kind of get into a forum and it's less about airguns and more about other stuff. That's not Gateway to Airguns. Okay, so recently, and I don't remember when Travis took it over, but he took it over, and you know, there's like zero tolerance for nonsense, which I think is really important, because if you're a new airgunner and you're trying to find information, you want to know how to make your gun work, you want to get right to it. You don't need to kind of sift through a bunch of stuff that doesn't get to the point. And fortunately, there's so many really great folks on that forum that want to help other airgunners. So definitely take a look at www.gatewaytoairguns.org. And they're the ones that do it. They're the ones that are sort of spearheading this Airgun Expo, of which I'm super excited to be part of. So check those guys out. Let's see, there was one other thing. Yes, Airgun Army. So back in 1st of January, I started a thing just kind of seeing if it would work. And so it's our own social media platform called airgunarmy.com. And it's got a mobile app. It's part of the Mighty Networks sort of platform. And I really like it. And we have people using it. We have people signing up regularly. You can post stuff that's cool. You can talk to each other. It's sort of like Gateway to Airguns, but teeny tiny compared to them. And we're kind of working together. So we're not trying to supplant one another. But it's a great way to post pictures very quickly and easily right from your phone, share video links, and communicate with other airgunners all over the world. So please check that out at airgunarmy.com. Yes, Sue?
The cool thing about that is also people like me who are not that into airguns can also post there. Yeah. And they can also go there to find information, find articles and videos. But for people who shoot airguns and want to post their pictures somewhere for other airgunners and ask them questions, that's a great place to go.
It is. And here's the thing. We don't know what's going to happen with Facebook and YouTube over the next... Switch to camera 2. We don't know what's going to happen to Facebook and YouTube and these other, you know, sort of publicly owned social media sites. You know, the wind of opinion changes on a whim, on a dime. And truthfully, we're hosted on a network that could do the same thing, but I am paying for the service, and there's a little bit more of a contractual thing there than something they're giving for free. And so, you know, as long as we stay within decent guidelines, and we have zero tolerance on Airgun Army too. We don't want nonsense and shenanigans. It's about airguns, and it's about having fun with airguns, not people ranting on each other and that kind of nonsense. We don't want that. So we got another question. But so I started it because who knows what's going to happen with those platforms. And I believe that if there's this other thing already there, then if something does happen, that we won't have to be rushing to try and do something to not lose all our cool stuff and our communications with one another. It'll already be established. And whether it's Airgun Army or the other stuff or Gateway to Airguns, you know, get involved in something outside the norm of social media, because I think that's going to become value. Back to camera 1, Sue. Yes, you had another question.
Yes. Felix has Swarm Fusion Gen 2
okay.
10.
Yep, 10X.
Shooting 22. How far does it shoot? He just got it today.
Okay, so I just unboxed this like just a few minutes before coming live. So that's going to be one of my next videos I'm going to go try. I had one earlier, and it seemed, we'll go to the foot per seconds on these things here in a second, because the box has some interesting information on it. But I think reasonable for accuracy, you're probably looking at 25, 30 yards. I mean, that was about what I was getting with the first one I reviewed. Now that one, I think it was brand new, might have been a pre-production one for all I know. I think it had a seal issue since it wasn't really pushing what I was thinking it should be pushing for velocity. So I'm excited to actually get this brand new one, definitely a production model, out there and do some shooting with it. That's going to be forthcoming. I'm excited about that. So I don't know like what your gun should be doing. I will know that what the box says, which is $975, is a pipe dream, okay? Even with the lightest alloy pellets, that ain't gonna happen. But you may get 700 with light lead pellets. That may be pretty realistic. And if you're getting that, you're going to be in the 14, 15 foot-pound range, which is not bad. Yes, Sue?
I'm sorry, just jumped on me. Have airgun sales increased dramatically due to the lack of weapons and ammo on the high end? And because of all of this, is the technology moving faster? Was just wondering.
Okay, so there's multiple questions there. I feel a little bit like a press secretary. We're going to have to get back to you on that. No, I actually can tell you, yes, I run Airgun Pro Shop. It's a retail online business that I have, and our sales from 2019 were X number, and our sales in 2021 were 4 times that. All right, so yeah, sales exploded in 2021, and I think if you talked to all the other airgun companies and they were honest with you about their sales and their sell-through, and the biggest problem we have now is getting inventory, getting stuff to sell. So what you're seeing on the firearm side as far as scarcity of product, ammo, whatever, we see absolutely on the airgun side too. Talking to my buddies over at JSB, hi guys, hey, JSB's awesome, we love you guys. Joe, you got to come out, dude. I mean, come out. I know they're probably not watching now because they're unpacking a Connex it's already sold. The whole Connex of all the ammo is gone. So tells you how quickly things are being absorbed right now by folks desperate to have anything. So yeah, it's a big deal. As far as technology, well, we've seen technology growing pretty crazy already. I mean, we have, in fact, I've got a gun I'm doing my Going Ballistic series, also brought to you by JSB, by the way. And I'm testing their slugs, and I'm testing the stuff in the JSAR Raptor. Now that gun can go from 177, clear up to 35. And I'm fixing to get ready. I got a whole new thing coming up called Modern Airgunner. The first project I have is to convert that gun into, I think I'm going to try 25 cal slugs and set that up to hunt coyote, because I should be able to push over 100 foot-pounds with a proper 25 cal slug in that gun. And if that's the case, that's a heavy projectile moving very fast, should give me good flat trajectory, and we're talking 200, 250 yard accuracy. So if it does that, and we don't know, I got to try it, I got to test it. That's what we're going to be doing on Modern Airgunner. But that will be awesome. But yeah, I mean, can you imagine? 2 years ago, I remember shooting our gun. It was a 30 cal, and we set targets out to 300 yards, and we're able to hit silhouettes out to 300 yards with that gun, and that was incredible. And so, yeah, stuff's advancing very, very quickly. It's kind of a little bit scary because when does the line from airgun to firearm disappear? So I think that is a reasonable concern people should have of continuing to push that envelope. Look, we're pushing it. I mean, we're pushing it hard. I got a gun right here. This guy right here. That is a carbine. It's 20 gauge. That little gun right there is throwing a hunk of lead at over 300 foot-pounds. It depends on how we set it up. I've gotten up to 375 foot-pounds with that gun. It's lightweight, it's compact, it's virtually foolproof in its operation. It's got 4 or 5 O-rings that you can user serviceable. This thing, you can user serviceable. You can service this and tear it down, put it back together in about 10 minutes with simple tools, nothing special, nothing weird. So this guy here is an example of pushing the envelope. But people are going to push it. I mean, people are going to push it. I think if we can push it responsibly, that's the key, right? Then we'll see what happens. All right. Any other questions before I jump into some other cool stuff? We get into the topic of the evening.
Nothing yet.
Nothing yet. Okay, so what are we here for tonight? We've done all our housekeeping, answered some questions. We are going to talk about the migration of Swarm, the evolution of Swarm. Evolution of Swarm. I like that better. So back in the day, you know what? I'm going to zip off camera for a second. Be right back.
Do I need to play intro music or
Nah.
exit music? Or
No,
something?
you're fine. You just keep doing what you're doing.
Okay.
All right, so here's one of my favorite Gamo guns. This is your standard Gamo bone collector. If you notice, this is your traditional break barrel, right? You're going to crack this open, boom, 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 put your pellet in, shut it, boom, take your shot. I need to take a shot. I got to crack it, fish a pellet. You guys know the drill, okay? So Gamo took this and said, you know what would be really cool? If we made this a repeater. And you know, there's a lot of people that's been wanting to do that for a very long time. And the truth of the matter is, Gamo built a very good mousetrap with that. We'll put this down over here. And frankly, I have tried a lot of the other repeaters, and they beat the people to the punch. Bottom line, their system freaking is awesome. And it started out sort of like this. This is the sort of original Swarm system. Now this was on the Gamo Magnum. This is the gun. As you can see, I took the Squirrel Master. This is a dirty, this one's had a little use to it. This one's been through the ringer. Okay, but if you notice what they had to do is they had to, well, that didn't have open sights either, but some of their break barrels have open sights. I've always loved Gamo's open sights. But with this mechanism right here that's so tall, the mag snaps in, if you have it the right direction, it snaps in like that. And now there's really no way to do your open sights, which is kind of a bummer. So you lost your open sights, and hey, you gained the repeater, which was very cool. 10-shot magazine, very nice. It's very easy to work. You cock the gun, it loads the pellet, you take your shot. And right on the top, it tells you what number you're on. So, you know, hopefully you don't dry fire the gun. All right, so that is where sort of the Swarm system started. It started with the Swarm Maxim, and then it was they put on the Swarm Fox, and then it's on the Swarm Gamo Swarm Magnum, and then it's sort of begun to evolve. What they wanted to do is a couple years ago, they wanted to bring back the open sights. Look, I like open sights on a break barrel, and I'll tell you why. You know, if you look at how this is designed, you have a barrel here, and we have a barrel joint, right? We have a receiver, your scope's mounted to the receiver. So if something happens with this joint and this barrel isn't straight and true every time, your scope stays true, but your barrel's heading off in another direction. You don't know if you're going to, you know, where things are. And there's so many times that joint's worn out, or, you know, stock screws go loose, or something happens where your accuracy was great and now it's not. Excuse me. That when you have open sights, you can easily diagnose what's going on, because if you take your scope off and you shoot with the open sights, your open sights are attached to the barrel. So even if the barrel's not quite true, your sights are true. So that's why I love open sights. They help you very quickly diagnose what's going on with your gun, and they're just great for close range stuff. I mean, if you're shooting 10, 20 yards, maybe you don't need a scope. Maybe the open sights are much easier and better. I know that when we went squirrel hunting, I know Ben, when he was running and gunning, he didn't even use a scope, and he was as successful as everybody else with a scope. And those squirrels, they don't sit still. I mean, when you go Squirrel Master Classic, and who knows if we're going to be doing that anytime soon again. It was a great fun. I mean, Gamo used to do that every year. You know, I'm going to miss that. But these squirrels would run and jump and hop, and look, they don't just sit still. If you want to take squirrel back to the competition, you have to take shots with them running. And I know some people say, you can't do that. Well, guess what? There's hundreds of people out there. Well, not hundreds. There's a whole whack load of people out there that we were shooting some squirrels. And open sights, in my opinion, gave Ben an advantage over folks with a scope. It was rainy, it wasn't great, so now you had just pure open sights, and you were much better and quicker on target. He did great with them. So I love open sights, and the original Swarm kind of took what gun they put that on had to take the open sights out. So what they did, I'm going to take this down for just a moment. Okay. Is they came out with this guy. This is the Swarm Fusion. This is the Fusion 10X. Now, this is slightly different than, say, the Maxim, which is here. Okay, so if you notice, the big difference here is the Fusion has a different barrel, has the bigger moderator, and also has our open sights. So they brought this back a couple years ago for those people that wanted the open sights. And so and I'll show you something about this, which is also important. When I pull this up to my shoulder to fire, the sights line up beautifully. You see how this is rather shallow here? So it lines up really nice. I want to show you the difference between that and, say, the new Magnum. Okay, look at that. So you see that? I'm going to show it to camera 2 here. You see that cheek riser right there?
Yeah.
Now I'm going to show you the Fusion. Look at that. See? See the difference? This is shallow, which is perfect for the open sights, right? When we try and shoulder the Magnum with open sights, this is actually messes you up. So on the Magnum, you almost have to run a scope. At least I have to run a scope to shoot it comfortably. Else I'm just having a hard time getting a comfortable cheek weld to use the open sights. They're there if you need them, but personally, pull this back a little bit here. There. Personally, the Fusion with the open sights is set up really, really nicely. Okay. So, I apologize, coughed right in the mic. Sue, you probably cannot give me some water, so I'm going to do it. Oh, you know what? I'm out of. If only they were a sponsor. We'll just gray out the title, the name. You know, don't give any free advertising away. Hold on. I'm one of those crazy guys. I drink Diet Coke and eat chocolate. It sort of defeats the point, doesn't it? She's saying enough already. Okay. Where was I? Okay. So they brought this out, brought the open sights back, and to make that happen, they did something that was really cool. And if you go back and look at my SHOT Show videos from probably 2019, I bet you, you're going to see this in action. So the magazine used to go like this. Now it clips in like this, and when you cock the gun, I'm going to try and show it up here on camera 2, hun. Okay, watch what happens to the mag. See how it rotates?
I don't know if we do.
Okay, so there's the mag in vertical position. There's the mag horizontally. So when you cock the gun, it rotates it into place, and there's a little pellet pusher in there that drives the pellet into the breech. Flattening that out, let them bring back their open sights. And Gamo has some really, really nice open sights. The micro-click adjustable, very fine fiber optic filaments, which makes them great for just target shooting. I'll go back to camera 1 now. All right, so these are the first generation of the Gen 2 mags. How you like that?
First generation of Gen 2 mags?
Yeah.
Okay, just checking that's what
The
you said.
first generation of the Gen 2 mags. Then they realized something. You know, if I'm out hunting, and I've done it, I'm out there, I'm cocked my gun, or out here, you know, I cocked my gun, there's a rabbit. Oh, crap, he's gone. Okay. So I walk around a bit more. And, oh, there's a jackrabbit. And I'll go to cock my gun again, forgetting that half an hour ago I already cocked it. And with these mags that are just spring-loaded, there's no catch. The pellet is the catch. So once you put a pellet in and the pellet pusher retracts, it zips to the next pellet. If you can double feed your gun very easily. And you stack too many pellets in here, it will not fire. You ruin your gun. It's not fun. So how do you fix that? Well, you create a magazine that only advances when it feels recoil. So they've got what's called the inertia-driven magazine. And the Gen 2 will use either the standard Gen 1, Gen 2 mags, or, you like that? Or the new inertia-driven magazine. And I don't know if I could show you this on camera here. Okay, so there's our magazine. And if I rotate it, it clicks there. See, now there's a hole.
Yep.
Okay, so when the gun fires, you see there's a little red switch here. When the gun fires, it bumps that little switch, and now it moves to the next pellet. So it only advances to the next pellet when the gun actually fires, which is great, because even if you cock it again, you're not driving another pellet into the hole. You're just doing nothing, really. So it's very cool that they've got this as an option. So the Swarm brought the new system, the Fusion 10X, Swarm Fusion 10X brought the new system. It's got the sort of bull barrel with the moderator at the end. Now just recently, this came in just the other day, we received the Maxim. Now the Maxim is also got the Gen 2. It does not come with open sight, so it does come with your standard Gamo scope. Again, I'm kind of a fan of that scope for a bundled optic. If I were shooting 50, 75 yards all the time, which I would really not do with one of these, it's just out of its usable range, in my opinion, I would maybe swap the scope out. But I'm shooting 25, 30 yards. Their bundled optic has served me very well, and it's held up to the recoil very well. So I have really no issues there. So this is a Swarm Maxim Gen 2. It's got the Gen 2 magazine, or Gen 2 Swarm system, and it uses the inertia magazines as well as all the other, come on out of there, there it is, as well as all the other Gen 2, Gen 1 mags. Gen 2, Gen 1 mags. That is just going to be confusing.
Yes, it is. Indeed.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit about performance on these guns now that we've sort of gone through the evolution of Swarm. I'm just going to go what's on the box, okay? And I can tell you specifically what I'm getting out of my 177 Magnum, even compared to the box, because I just did the video today on that, and I will be doing videos on all of these guns, which is awesome. I've already done one for Pyramid Air on the 22. Not this. I have the Gen 2 Swarm in 22. That video is already on Pyramid Air's website. We're following up with the 177 here. This is my old Swarm 22, which is really dirty and dusty. All right, Jenna's got to get back to work. I know, in the desert. Excuse me. All right, so I'm going to put this away. Well, I'll start with this one. The Maxim Gen 2 on the box says 1,000 foot per second with alloy 22 pellets. I would be shocked if it got anywhere near that. I mean, it would be great, but I think realistically, if you get 800 feet per second, you're going to be doing well. And they did work in kind of a cool little thing here. I just felt it by accident. They actually have mag storage right in here. You can store an extra mag right in the butt of the gun. I thought that was pretty cool. Okay. Anyway, so none of the others have that. I thought that was pretty neato. You've always got...
You do love your gadgets.
I do love my gadgets, yes. Excuse me. Okay, so if this does... you know... I don't think water's going to help. So live TV, wonderful. It's just dusty and I'm sniffly. I'm a sniffly guy. I wish I wasn't, but I am. All right, so if you can get 800 feet per second with light pellets, I think realistically you're going to be about 750. I would consider that doing well. That's still not too shabby. If you're shooting 14 grain pellets at close to 700, it's 14 foot-pounds, which is enough for all the kind of small game you want to get. It's short of raccoon and possum and those things, but this gun's super lightweight. It's super easy to cock. It's like really fun to shoot, and it's work within its boundaries. You're going to have a lot of success, and I think you're going to have similar performance with the Fusion, although the numbers on the Fusion are actually a little lower. So I'm going to try and see how these guys compare. I'm curious to see how that's going to work out. So we're going to put that right over here. But I want to talk about the big daddy right here. So the Swarm Magnum. So Gamo back in the day had a gun, and actually one of the guns that really excited me about Airgun too. It was the Gamo Hunter Extreme. If you guys are an old timer and you're watching and you remember the Gamo Hunter Extreme, raise your hand on Facebook or something. That gun was awesome. It promised 1,600 feet per second, and as a completely new guy, I thought that was just the coolest, most awesome thing in the world. And I actually have 3 of them. I've got 177, 22, and 25 in the original built in the UK Gamo Hunter Extremes. And you know what? They actually shoot pretty well. They didn't hit those speeds, but they did push a lot of power. And for a while, Gamo sort of fell off that high power radar, but they came back with a vengeance with the Gamo Magnum. And the Magnum pushes a lot of energy. This is a 22, well, this is 177, but in 22 with the right pellet at sea level, all these caveats going, you're looking at close to 30 foot-pounds, if not just over. Now, that's PCP territory, okay? Just so you know. A regular sort of general powered 22 PCP, not one of the super fancy ones or one of the ones specifically designed for high power, right around 30 foot-pounds is what you're getting. And that is very good. Out to 50 yards, that is all-day accuracy. So that really changed the dynamic of what you could get out of a brake barrel. Now, there are other companies that had some ultra-magnum brake barrels already, but Gamo really came in and said, hey, me too. I'm on the scene now. I'm back, and I mean business. And that Magnum shot really, really well. It was very hard to cock, and it didn't have the moderator. It just had a sight because they said, why are we going to moderate this? It's going to break the sound barrier anyway. And in 22 cal, I was getting a legitimate 1,000 foot per second with lead pellets. And that's cooking. That is impressive. So when they added the moderator, that helped bring the noise down a little bit. It also made it easier to cock because it gave you more mechanical advantage, a little bit longer. And today, I had not really shot the 177. We used this gun to test as part of our live range day. And it is starting to do better and be more consistent than it was doing right out of the box, I think. All air guns need, brake barrels need some time to break in, and this one is starting to settle in very nicely. We shot at 20 yards today for the video, which is a pretty decent, I mean, we could do 30 or 35 and probably get pretty decent results. But I just wanted to try a bunch of different pellets today and see what we got at a more backyard sort of distance. And I got to tell you, these are 4 different pellets. And I'm pretty impressed. We put it up here. So this is what I wanted to do is try, really I had 2 pellets I wanted to test, a little higher, like that. I put that, does that look better like that? That's great, Rick. You've never looked better. I've had 2 pellets I really wanted to test for like accuracy. And then I had some that I was doing for crony tests. And I thought, gosh, if you guys would like to see them, you know, maybe I'll go ahead and do those too. And I was shocked that they all shot pretty well. Now, obviously, this group here, right there, is very good. That's 5 shots, and we're doing really well. This group here is 5 shots. That one I just goofed. But this top section is 5 shots. There's 5 shots. This is 5 shots. This wandered a bit. So let me tell you what pellets we got here. These right here were the Gamo red fires. And if I was hunting squirrel at 20 yards with the red fires, any of those shots are going to get the job done, just tell you. These right here were the Barracuda match.
Which ones? The
one here in the center. They're the Barracuda match. And those were consistently awesome. I mean, I shot several groups with those, and they're all 1/2 to 3/4 of an inch all day long. Very, very good shooting pellet out of this gun. The bottom, now here's the thing that got me. All right, so I shot the lightest alloy I could get, which these are the PBA Platinums. Those guys right there.
Hold it up to 2?
Yeah, I got it up to 2. Those are PBA Platinums. So these pellets only weigh, oh gosh, 5.1 grain or 4 point. I think they're 5.1. You guys can look it up. I might be slightly wrong, but I think these are 5.1 grain. They are super light. And they are screaming. When I was doing the crony test for the article, I got very close to 1,400 feet per second with these guys. That is, what's that? You back to camera 1? That is very fast. So that is very, very fast. And normally I would say, toss them in the trash. You're not going to get any accuracy out of a pellet like that. But that's what we shot. Back to camera 2. This bottom group, again, this bottom one I screwed up, but those right there, that's 5 shots. I mean, okay, that'll work.
Something's dead.
No, yeah, I mean, yeah. Yes, I mean, now granted, I didn't mess with the scope, all right? So I could have brought I was actually aiming here. I knew it was going to aim high. You guys watch the video, you'll see what I was doing. But I just wanted to see what kind of groups I would get. That is a dime, really. And I was like, okay, I have to rethink my opinion now.
When you're shooting a pig or something like that, any of those groups is good.
Yeah, I wouldn't shoot a pig with this, but I mean,
no, but I mean,
some people have, and I don't recommend doing that. But if I was any small game, rabbit, jackrabbit, squirrel, possum, a raccoon, armadillo, any of those things. I mean, you're looking at a 1-inch kill zone, maybe 1-inch, 2-inch kill zone on the larger stuff. Oh my gosh, they're all dead. Easy. And plenty of power. I mean, so when you start looking at this with the multi-shot, it's got the power of a PCP. It's got great accuracy. You need no gear. All you need is the ability to cock it, which that is a significant consideration. It's a beast. And a little practice time on the bench, and you got pest problem, you can eliminate the pest problem. I mean, it is outstanding for that. And then, this is the thing that blew my mind, right? So these pellets I thought were like the biggest gimmick in the world. I don't know if you can see those on camera too. Mm-hmm. They are plastic pellets with a copper tip. I think they're copper. They're called lethal pellets. And these I thought would have been lighter than the platinum pellets, but they're not. They're like 5.4 grain. And they're doing 1360, which is smoking fast. Yeah, we got a question?
Which scope would you recommend as an upgrade for the Magnum?
I would go, the first scope I would look at would be the Hawk Vantage IR. It's etched glass, mil dot, illuminated, AO, Hawk. You can get them. They start around $200. That's where I would start. You don't want to go with a big heavy scope because the mounts will not hold it. So you want to go with something relatively light and compact and with an etched glass reticle. Etched glass is critical or you'll just bust the wire reticles in it. Okay. These lethal pellets, I said, all right, well, so we'll try these out. And sure enough, look at that. All right, now they're not very accurate. I get it. But they're plastic, right? And they still put everything in an inch or so, maybe 1.25 inches. Still a dead pest. And I don't know what those would do. I might want to do these into ballistics gel or something just to see what kind of penetration you get. Because it's just basically just a copper sabot round and a plastic shell. I mean, I did not expect to get accuracy out of either the platinum or anything that was a lead-free sort of variant. But yet, the gun did really well. Yes, Sue?
How long is the show supposed to be?
I don't know. What time are we at now?
We're at 42 minutes.
All right. Well, gosh, we're 12 minutes over. But that's okay. We had questions, and I'm happy to... Look, can you guys tell? I had a couple really good airgun days. I mean...
you can tell that you love what you do.
I do love what I do. I mean, it's fun. I mean, yeah, look, it's work. I'm just saying, no joke. It's work, a lot of it. But when you have things that come together and work easily, gosh, it's so nice. It's so nice. Yesterday I was shooting, and I needed to get the photos for my article for Airgun Depot, and I had to do the crony numbers, and I had to shoot the targets. And I really hadn't spent a lot of time with this except for what I did on the virtual range day. And I said, all right, so I sat down with my pellets, and all right, we're going to go through this. And the first group I shot with the red fires was like, done. And I grabbed the Barracuda match and shot a group and done. And it was just beautiful when it just works like that. It's awesome. Yes, Sue?
What do you think of the BSA Outlook scope?
I don't know the scope. If it has an etched glass reticle, try it. If it has a wire reticle, do not try it. I have had BSA, love you guys. I know you guys are part of the Gamo family, but excuse me, we had some BSA scopes that we were using, and they're fine on PCPs. We tried them on some of our Breakbarrels, specifically the Magnums, and it crushed them in short order, but they were the wire reticle, so stay away from anything with a wire reticle on the Magnum guns. Just stay away from them. How Gamo has done it with their bundled optic, I don't know, but this seems to hold up. But the wire reticle ones that are like the Amazon scopes and these others, this thing will crush it. It will crush it very quickly. So spend a little, if you want a better scope, like a scope with good glass, mil dots, adjustable objective, spend the money on a Hawk Vantage IR or above. Make sure you get the etched glass reticle. We can just keep saying that. Any other questions?
Not yet.
Okay, well, I guess we can wrap it up, guys. This has been the evolution of Swarm. Started out with just a simple little clip-in magazine that transformed the break barrel world, look, we know, if we go back, we see that people have done multi-shot springers before. We got it. But nobody's done it at this level with this level of success. That is just the plain truth. Gamo crushed it with their Swarm, and they're crushing it again with the Swarm Gen 2 and the new inertia-driven magazine. It is, from all of the other systems I've tried, and I have sponsors that have, you know, multi-shot springers, and love you guys, but you guys know, this works pretty slick. It just does. Now, in a break barrel, I don't know of a better option. So Gamo doesn't have a fixed barrel, and so a fixed barrel multi-shot, that's a whole other animal. We're going to be doing some videos on that coming up. In fact, we've already done one, but that was a different video. But for a break barrel, yeah, this is it. This is it. And these guns, especially the Magnum, if you can run it, this gun is a really good survivalist prepper kind of air gun for taking small game, clearing pests. This is a great gun for that because it just works. You don't need a tank and PCP stuff and all of that. It just is a package. It's very simple and it just works. So if you guys have any questions about any of these products, you can go to Gamo's website, which is www.gamousa.com, or you can reach out to me. And if I have the answer, I'll be happy to share it with you. Guys, I think that's going to be it. Now we are on a new channel. And this video will be processed, digested, and then it will be reposted on our AirgunWebTV YouTube channel coming up shortly. And one thing, I have a quick announcement on that as well. We have got 50-some episodes, Sue, of all of the original AirgunWebTV episodes. Now, I started looking through some of those, and I was like, man, we had some fun. We just had a lot of fun going out, just a bunch of guys, shooting air guns and having a good time. And we're going to go back and redo, we're going to take them off of Airgun Web and we're going to move them over to Airgun Web TV and re-put them out because they're just very cool. And I think, you know, I would love to get back to that type of format at some point, not right now, but at some point I'd like to get back to that. And Airgun Web TV is a great platform for really kind of bringing that back. So, you know, if you guys never saw them, you're going to get a chance to see them again. And I hope you guys enjoy them because they were really, we had a lot of fun putting those together. A lot of work, ton of work, but it was a lot of fun too. So you guys get to see Cecil and Ben and Aaron, all the guys again. So it was a lot of fun. So definitely check out, if you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel, the AirgunWebTV YouTube channel, please do. Well, we'll put the link in the description. We have like no subscribers at this point. We are starting out dead zero. And we want to build that up and really see that become something that can stand on its own. Different format, different content. It's not my hardcore review stuff over at Airgun Web. It's more fun. It's more free. It's the live stuff. It's hunting. It's lifestyle shows. All that kind of stuff. That's what we want to do over there. We want to get more people involved as well, just like we did before, and bring that back. So I'm excited. So definitely check that out. Yes, Sue.
Is that the stuff that's on the Roku channel?
Well, the Roku channel has all of that too. So I forget to mention that. If you have Amazon Fire TV or you have Roku, all of my stuff gets published there. And Roku has limited to only 40 shows, so we have 54, plus I got stuff keep coming up all the time. So the whole series of AirgunWebTV is not there. And on Amazon Fire TV, we have some stuff. Now, we can do our own Amazon channel, okay? We actually have an Amazon Prime channel. That's going to take an investment. Which I don't have right now, but that would be pretty cool if we could do that.
That would be very cool.
And then you could just watch it Amazon Prime right on your phone. There's Airgun Web. So that's something that we may do. I was hoping to do that maybe a couple years ago, but it just hasn't really transitioned because there is an investment that needs to occur to make that happen. But we'll see. We'll see. Maybe we'll do it. Maybe we'll do it this year. Any other questions before we wrap it up tonight?
Nothing as of yet.
Okay, guys, thank you so much for joining us here. And in 2 weeks, we'll have another show. And this show, if you want to go watch it again, watch it on Facebook. We're also going to be publishing it online. And we also have podcasts. So this will get turned into a podcast. So enjoy. I hope you guys enjoy it. If you have more questions or you have suggestions about upcoming shows, stuff you'd like to see, shoot it over to me. Message me. Do what you got to do to reach out to me. And we'll reach out to the various parties and see if we can get something lined up. Guys, that's it. My name is Rick Utzer here with AirgunWebTV. Thanks for watching.